Alright, as you know, tomorrow is our physics final. Now, she said we were going to do percent composition, and we're going to do whatever we did with the stupid triangles. So let's start. Now, do you remember when we were doing the little lab, the physics lab that no one still has not turned in yet? Alright, well first, what you're going to do, let's draw it out like she says. So, that's the two spring scales connected together right here at the little point, and you have the one spring scale that's holding the weight. Now the weight doesn't really matter, but let's just label it just because she's going to want to. Alright, now after measuring these, which will probably give us the calculations for, you can label them. Let's say these, I'm going to use mine as an example. 2.4 at 2.4. Alright, see there? Now an easy way to do this is to make it into a little plane. So you can draw a line right here, because that's where they all meet, kind of like an x-axis, and I draw a line up here. Now, if you look really carefully, this is a triangle. Like any triangle, it could be cut in half. Now, since this and this are the same, it's safe to say that this also equals 1.8. Okay, imaginary lines, because they're both the same square. Now, we're looking for this. Okay, now you know this side right here is 2.4, and this side is 1.8. Now to get the missing side, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Squared, that's z. Yeah. Alright, well now, you see, we have, let's just call this A, and we have C, because it's the hypotenuse. You can also say that this is 1.8, or this is 1.8. We're missing one side. Okay? Alright, so then, let's see, something equals to 2.4 squared. And I think, let's see if I can remember this. This one is 1.8. This is 1.8 because it's also going vertical. So this is B, A, B, C. Okay. So we already have B, so 1.8 squared. Now with this, you put it into the calculator, you will be able to find out what A is. In this case, A is 1.59 squared. Okay, exactly like that. So then you put it in right here, and also over here. Don't forget to label everything. Okay, so now you have this. You have all your squares. Now you find this. Now, see, since we have all the answers, we can either use sine or cosine. Whichever one you want, it doesn't matter as long as you put it in right. If you use cosine, you would put 1.5 this, which is the cosine, which is adjacent over hypotenuse. So it would be 1.59 over 2.4. So adjacent over hypotenuse, 1.59 over 2.4. Okay, or you do the sine, it'll be opposite over hypotenuse, which is 1.8 over 2.4. Okay, you do that. Now let's say let's use sine. So sine of theta equals 1.8 over 2.4. Now we want to get theta by itself. So in order to move sine over here, you would have to make inverse of sine. Yeah. So the inverse of sine, and then you put this back down, of 1.8 over 2.4. Now whatever that's going to be, that will be your degree. But in this case is 48.6. So this is what your experimental, which you will later need once you do percent error. Okay. Now this is the part where Ms. Perez said to take a picture. This is after we've already done. Once you're done, you have, let me draw a picture. Now you have a little picture and you have the little coordinate. Now you put your protractor right in the middle. There'll be a little bit dot in the protractor, and that's where you put the middle of it. It really doesn't matter which side you use. I always use the right just because it's easier, and that's the degree you find. In this case, in this particular experiment, it was 60. Okay? So 48.6 was experimental. 60 is your theoretical. Now we already have half of this problem done. We have figured out what this angle was. Okay? Now in order to find percent error, which is the second half of the test, you would do theo minus experimental over, let's see, was it experimental or theo? I'm going to say theo times 100. And let me just check that real quick. Just to make sure I'm right. Yeah, I was right. Okay. So you'll have 60 minus 48.6 over 60 times 100. Whatever this is usually a decimal, so it'll be like 0.0 something. You multiply it times 100. In this case, the answer came out to be 19%. Okay? And that's how you do one that has only one, where these two are the hypotenuses are the same.